You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is your Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies, Locked On Philadelphia YouTube channel. Hi. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you. This show is brought to you by SupplyHouse.com. It's a reliable way to get to, actually the most reliable way to get your parts fast. Shop for your local plumbing, HVAC, and electrical job. That's right. Do it all. For your next plumbing, HVAC, and electrical job, get it fast and free. Get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com. And yes, thank you for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and also on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Welcome in once again. My name is Mark Farzetta. And it's tough to talk about this Phillies team, especially with the way they've played in the last three games, especially with the false hope we had when they won that game against the Mariners, and you had Brandon Marsh make that miraculous catch, and then they went into the Dodgers, and they took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, and then they went into Arizona, and they went against Arizona. They won the first game against Arizona, and they scored 6 runs, and that was cool. And then since then, terrible. God-awful. Terrible. And let's just go to this for a second here, okay? The Phillies go 2-7 in their last 9 games at home. So in their last 3 series at home, they win 2 games, okay? They got spanked and swept by the Yankees, then dropped 2 or 3 to the Guardians, and then also dropped 2 or 3 to the Oakland A's. Yeah, that's right, before the All-Star game. They are 7-15 since the All-Star break in total, but let's just stay here. They are 2-7 in their last 9 home games. And remember at the end of that 9 games, the last game they played at home, everyone was like, myself included, you know what? They just get out on the road. They just need to get out on the road. They just need to get out. They didn't go on the road, man. They didn't go on the road, out on the road, and like the West Coast road. They need to go there and they just regroup. That's what they do. They regroup. They're going to regroup on the road. They got 10 games. They'll regroup on the road. 4-6. All right, so they went 4-6. They went 4-6 in the 10-game road trip. You know what they need? You know what they need? They need some home cooking. They need to come home. They need to get that home cooking. What's the record to get at home? 2-7. Are you an eternal optimist? Yes. Are you a blind optimist? Yes, I am. Okay, we're done here. Yeah, that's how the Phillies got me feeling right now. Oh, they just need to go out on the road. They're going to regroup. Okay, they laid an egg on the road. And they proved they're better than the Dodgers, which is something that we knew going on the road trip, right? And then they drop the last 3 games of this series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Phillies, once again, since the break, are 7-15. They are 7-15 since the All-Star break. And let's go back to that date, May 24th, that we have highlighted many times on this Locked On Phillies postcast. Since May 14th, since they went into Colorado to drop 2 of 3 to the Rockies before going to San Francisco and also being terrible at baseball there as well. Since those 2 series, really the last time they were out of the West Coast, right? Since then, they are 32-35. 32-35. So this isn't just something, as terrible as they're playing right now, that is kind of new. But the fact that they haven't been great for a very long time is not just some blip on the radar. They have no answers. As we have on the thumbnail with Bryce Harper looking dumbfounded, they have no answers, this ball club. No matter where they turn, somebody else is laying an egg. And that's not the way it was. The reason this team got out to such a phenomenal start to the year, a historic start to the year, was because it was like, oh, wow, Bryce Harper can't hit the broadside of a bar, but Alec Bohm is hitting. It was just stuff like that. Oh, Trey Turner goes down. Oh, you know what we're going to have? We're going to have Edmundo Sosa go and hit the 315 while Trey Turner's on the IL. Oh, Harper's ice cold. Oh, Kyle Schwarber is going to heat up. Oh, Bryce Harper's on fire. It's a good thing he's on fire right now because Alec Bohm's gone into a little bit of a slump. Throughout the entire year. Throughout the beginning of the season, that was the thing. And bottom of the order guys When the big build dudes at the top of the order weren't doing their job, the guys at the bottom of the order were doing their job. And I know that talking about eternal optimism or blind optimism, I know some people are like, you got the Marlins coming to town. Hey, let's bring the Marlins to town. And then you got the Nationals after that. Yeah, the Phillies, okay, are playing horrible baseball. The Phillies are doing the opposite of that thing that we like when teams do from time to time, which is find ways to win. They're finding ways to lose. And that's just find ways to lose. Like they go up 2-0 in the early goings of this game, thanks to Alec Bohm's 2-run double. Great to see that. Got the early runs. All right, we're cooking. We're off and running. Let's go. And then one way, Bryson Stott, who's a sure-gloved fielder, comes up with a 2-run error. Nick Castellanos looks slow as can be in right field. Brandon Marsh is misjudging balls in left field. Alec Bohm, who has been, as we all know, I think by now, ever since I hate this bleeping place, since that comment was made, he has been a pretty damn good third baseman with the glove, and he's throwing off the mark at first base today. To first base today, for clarity. It was another ugly one, and I think it was when Orion Kerkering started to get hit. And I know this might be late to the party for some people, but it was in that moment of the game that I just went, can they get on the plane now? Because the Phillies look as if they just want to get on the plane now. The Phillies just look like they want to sleep in their own beds. And I'm not saying that as a cure-all. I'm not saying that to allude again to the idea of, they just need some home cooking. All right? I'm not saying it for that. What I'm saying it for is because the Phillies look like a team that just want to go to bed. Because they're playing this game right now as if they're already asleep. And if you get home right now and you get in your little comfy beds tonight, sleep it off. Take some time. I don't want to see it for 24 hours. Actually, 48 hours. And then get back to it. And then, like, look, at least, you know what? Treat these games, these next, there'll be about 6 games here. Treat them like they're preseason games. Treat these games coming up here against the Marlins and against the Nationals as if, okay, you know what? I call these games prove-it games. When a team that is supposed to be a really good team plays a team that is supposed to suck, prove that you're the better team by far by beating the crap out of teams that suck. And I know I'm not looking for a trophy here for the Phillies in these games. I'm not saying, all right, they beat the Marlins and they beat the Nationals and you know what they'll do? Then we're going to have a parade down Broad Street. I'm not saying that at all. You know what I'm saying? I am saying just win, baby. I don't care who it's against at this point. Just do the thing where when we look in the win column, when we look under that W, all right, we look down, we're like, oh, look at all those. That's good. Okay. And then let's look over here by the L's. Oh, I don't see as much down here. That's good. Just start stacking the wins. Because it's I hate to use this term, and you guys, I know you guys have heard me say this before, and maybe saying this phrase before. Put a hex, a Maloik, okay, on the Phillies. But I was talking about it from a long time ago. A gauntlet of games. Just like we were talking about at the end of the Eagles season, a gauntlet of games. The Eagles or the Phillies right now, we got a gauntlet of games. Mariners, first place team. Dodgers competing for first place in the National League overall. Diamondbacks, hottest team in baseball. How are you going to do against those teams? Wah, wah. Anyway, let's talk about the game. 3 big things. Let's jump into it. That's might be the latest I've ever done. 3 big things on the post show here, the postcast, right? Okay, let's get the 3 big things. Number 1, the Phillies suck. Number 2, the Phillies are terrible. Number 3, the Phillies are embarrassing. You got it? No, we're going to go a little bit deeper than that. For instance, Cristopher Sanchez. Let's start it off with him. Number 1, Cristopher Sanchez, career high in runs. Cristopher Sanchez, career high in hits. Cristopher Sanchez, god-awful terrible in this game. 12 hits, 7 runs, earned, by the way. Issues 2 walks, needs 96 pitches. 96 pitches to get through 4 2/3 innings of work. By the way, those 7 runs, all of them were earned. He struck out 4 in the process during his start today. And every single pitch that left his hand looked flat as flat can be. And then we're not looking at him to be a high velo pitcher at all. But when you're throwing 93, 94, when you're throwing like that, and it's flat, you're just begging. Please hit me. You're throwing to Del Castillo tonight. Adrian Del Castillo, who just killed the Phillies in this series, all right? Didn't even play every game. And he goes out there tonight, and he's just hitting batting practice baseballs, it looked like tonight. You see Carroll later. This wasn't against Sanchez, but you see Carroll later in the ball game. He's hitting batting practice pitches that look like off Jose Alvarado. You're just seeing this team get destroyed. McCarthy throughout this series was just owning the Phillies. And the latest victim, unfortunately, for this Diamondbacks red-hot lineup, which outscored the Phillies 26-8 over the last 3 games, Cristopher Sanchez was the last one that just couldn't solve the problem. And he looked terrible, absolutely terrible tonight. And after him, it was just one guy after another looking to get theirs. I know it was Tanner Banks that came in later in the game. He ended up giving the big 3-run triple to McCarthy. He made it an 8-2 game, but the guy that provided the ducks on the pond was Cristopher Sanchez, and it was every ounce of terrible. So Cristopher Sanchez, number 1 on my list. Number 2. Forgot how to count now, thanks to the Phillies. Number 2. When I look at this lineup, I'm looking and begging for someone to be the consistent hitter on this team. Bryce Harper worked 2 walks today. After that, you got a total of 8 hits in this ballgame. When you look out over the course of this series, the Phillies in total over the full 4 games. So this is including game 1 that you won 6-4. The Phillies have hit 205. Oh, let me check that right. Yeah, 205 with runners in scoring position in this series. 7 for 34 with runners in scoring position. Who's the consistent Philly in this lineup right now? I mean, Nick Castellanos, and I was railed on him last night. I pulled no punches. Just, there are very few things that really make me lose my mind about swinging at the first pitch, because I understand sometimes, I've explained it enough. But when it comes to Nick Castellanos swinging at the first pitch after 4 straight balls out of the zone to the previous hitter, that kind of drives me crazy. Tonight, he got 2 hits for the Phillies. His average is up to 245. He's over 300 on base percentage, which I understand is not a brag, but over the last 2 months, that has certainly been a brag for Nick Castellanos. Now over 2 months it's been for Nick Castellanos. Rob Thomson tried shuffling the lineup a little bit today to help the Phillies out. Stott moved up. It's the highest he's hit in quite some time. He moved up to your 5-hole spot behind Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm got you that 2-run double in the early goings of the ball game that I talked about, and that was what I thought was going to get you going. His 43rd double of the season. Pretty incredible when you think about it from that perspective. But then the next guy is stepping up. Nobody's doing it. Phillies showed a little bit of life there in the 7th inning, but right after that, they gave all 3 runs that they picked up in the 7th inning, they gave right back in the bottom of the 7th inning. They showed a little bit of life. I'm not going to go ahead and say that it was fight, but they showed a little bit of life. But after that, there was nobody else in this lineup that was able to scrounge anything together to help this Philly squad at least compete after that. The air was out of the balloon. Schwarber obviously needs to heat up again, and when it comes to the power numbers, Trey Turner, need that power from him. Look, this is something we've been talking about even when the Phillies were having a great run. And I hate going down this avenue because I feel like it's, at the time, it feels like you're reaching for things to be negative about. Like, for instance, if the Phillies are hitting 3 home runs in a game, all right, or they get 1 3-run home run and then a couple of dink and dunk runs after that to secure a 5-2 victory or 6-3 victory or something like that. I don't like reaching for the negative when the Phillies have actually put up runs and won. But it is something that you store in the back of your mind that if the Phillies aren't hitting the long ball, they're not going to win games. Phillies don't hit home runs, they're not going to win games. Bryce Harper came extremely close on the Gurriel play in left field, in the left field corner that ended up, I guess he got injured on, was definitely laboring as he was rounding the bases in the next inning after he got a leadoff single up the middle. But Phillies are waiting for that long ball. They're waiting for that 3-run home run, it feels like right now. If that's what they need to get things going again, I don't care. Give me those home runs again. Just give me that instant offense as soon as humanly possible. So number 1, I look at Sanchez. Number 2, I look at the idea that this Phillies team with runners in scoring position just couldn't get the job done in this series. And then number 3, Rob Thomson when you shuffle the lineup like he did shuffle today, look, you got 5 runs, whatever. Bottom line is it didn't work because it didn't produce a win. What do you say to this team? I understand that most people, when it comes, oh, what can you say? They know what they have to do. Well, you know what? You fired Joe Girardi a couple years ago, and that seemed to work out for everybody. The Phillies made it to a World Series. They were 1 win away from a World Series. If it wasn't for these menacing Diamondbacks. And the talk of a closed-door meeting or a team meeting or somebody saying something, like Rob Thomson, in all honesty, I don't care if he says anything. I just want him to provide the platform for these guys to step up and say something to draw their attention. Because nothing's working. Nothing is working. And nothing's been working for a very long time now. This isn't new. Nothing's working. So for the people that are like, oh, what good's that going to do? I'll say this. It's not going to hurt. I'll say this. Is it going to make the situation worse? Nope. Is it going to maybe have this team pull focus again, finally, like they had at the start of the year? Maybe. But keep continuously going down the path of, let's just not say anything. These guys know what they're doing. Do they? What has happened in recent months to make you go, oh, they really know what they're doing? 3 games under 500 since May 24th. May 24th, June 24th, July 24th, coming up on August. You know, it's a couple weeks away, but still, it's been more than a minute that they've been struggling. When we come back on what your comments, I'll take your comments on what you guys have to say about how this Phillies team is performing right now, because it is piss poor. Bottom line. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. This is your Locked On Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel for all your Philadelphia sports needs. Back in a few. SupplyHouse.com. That's right, SupplyHouse.com. They got the answers. When it comes to your skilled trade needs, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 of the top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, get expert industry-leading support from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get the competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from free membership. That's right, at SupplyHouse.com/TM. That's SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. That's SupplyHouse.com. Once again, thank you for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia your first listen today. With your second listen, enjoy the Locked On MLB podcast with host Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully. He's here daily to provide national expertise along with his trademark humor to help you get ready for the MLB playoffs here in the dog days of summer. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Also, I would like to issue an apology to Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman of the Arizona Diamondbacks, for a dumb reason. It is a dumb reason, but it's dumb, bottom line. I was calling him Ramirez last night. And I do apologize for calling him Ramirez. I didn't notice it. So a couple of people were like, who the hell's Ramirez? And I'm like, the third baseman? What are you talking about? And then I realized what I did. This is not an excuse. This is just a stupid reason why this happened. And this is, again, on me, 100% on me, because I'm a big dumb idiot. I was watching the game with my father-in-law, who's a big Cleveland Guardians fan. And throughout the game, we were talking about Jose Ramirez. And I believe on last night's show, while I was taking my notes, we were talking about Ramirez. And it was around that time in the game that Suarez booted, I think it was Alec Bohm, into foul territory. And I must have wrote down in my notes, Ramirez. And then I just kept going back to it in my mind. Last time I did something like that, I think I called Carson Wentz Connor Wentz when I was doing updates on the radio during the Senior Bowl all those years ago. You just get it in your head, and you're like, well, people will be like, what's that guy's name? Carson. That guy's name's Carson. It's like, you're calling him Connor. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I'm an idiot. More evidence to the fact. Let's get to the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine Sunday evening on the East Coast of the United States. Morgan Landy, what's going on? Why do we continue to play sloppy defense? I hate playing in Arizona. So do I. Swinging, what's going on? Titanic year in Philadelphia sports, Eagles and Phillies. Yeah, let's hope that's not the way it goes down. The Eagles did it in their last month of the season. Phillies have 2 months. It's August 11th. They've been terrible. Their bullpen, by the way, side note, did you see that? Their ERA 5.03 in the month of August. Good God, man. I'm not going to call this a historic collapse until it's September and they're playing terrible baseball. By the way, I did mention earlier that gauntlet, if you will, of Philadelphia Phillies baseball. That's coming up here. It's a good time. So they have these 6 games coming up against the Marlins, 2 against the Marlins, and then they have 4 against the Washington Nationals. Those are 2 bad baseball teams, okay? Then they go and they face the Atlanta Braves. Then they go and they host the Kansas City Royals. That team is 12 games over 500 as of right now. And then they go and they play the Houston Astros, and then they go play, they host the Astros and they host the Atlanta Braves for a 4-game series at the end of August. That'll be the last time they face the Braves. Good times. Oh, and let's not forget, you also have 7 games coming up against the New York Metropolitans. And a 3-game set in Milwaukee against the Brewers. Oh, God. Don't panic. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. 824, what's going on? Remember when everyone said the Phillies hadn't played anyone and we'd see who they were in the second half of the season? Well, we're seeing this isn't a funk. This is bad baseball team. That's what it feels like. Braves lost again. Mets lost yesterday. See, here's the thing. Joseph Klinger, and I get it. And yet the Phillies refuse to do themselves any favors. Watch Pache slug against the Phillies when they play the Marlins. Seems to be our luck. Well, here's what we know is going to happen. The Phillies are going to get torched by Whit Merrifield with the Braves in the 7 games they have remaining against the Braves. Then they're going to get torched. Rhys Hoskins is going to hit 5 home runs in that 3-game series against the Brewers coming up in Milwaukee in the middle of September. And then what else is going to happen there? Christian Pache is going to turn into Willie Mays. We're having fun. This is so much fun. I hate baseball. All right, anyway, I love it. Arizona, what's up, Graham? Arizona seemed to have our measure. Yep. I got your number, I'll tell you that much. John Marinelli, this is one of my favorite things anyone can say about a player. He looks like a fan who won a contest to go pitch in a big league game. John, I concur. Babs, what's going on? 7 for 15. Where's the leaders on this team? They're being quiet. Wow. As far as you can't bench the bar, what's going on? Babs, not even Bernie Perrant can save this team. Love the reference. Calvin, props to the Diamondbacks and their coaching staff. You know what? Sure. Props to the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are the hottest team in baseball? And they just put the Phillies over their knee for 3 of the 4 games? 26-8 in those 3 games. I didn't even get to the hitting yet. Holy Stromboli. Okay. Second most hits the Diamondbacks have ever had in a series. They had 18 today, 15 yesterday, 9 in game 2, 11 in game 1. The Phillies out-hit them in game 1, 14 to 11, but they still had 11 hits. So, yeah, I'll give credit to the Diamondbacks. McCarthy, Del Castillo, he seems to be pretty good at baseball. Crazy. Team isn't good enough. Should have added at the deadline, a little bit more at the deadline. Absolutely. Spurger King, what's going on? Farsley, let's talk about movies or Strombolis or something. This is getting painful. Movies or Strombolis? You name a movie, bro. I'll give you a line. You name a Stromboli you like, I'll debate it. Throw it to me. Hopefully I get to you before I get out of here. Graham, imposters. Matt Forstater, what's going on? Until they get cut stubs. Break. This seems to be a huge line of demarcation for people. Like maybe the closest thing to firing a manager is cutting Garrett Stubbs. They see they cut Stubbs. They're really not taking any crap anymore from us. That'll send a message. Rafael Marchand gets to the big leagues. I show you how to win. Who knows? JT Realmuto had the neck strain. Maybe he needs a break. Bring up Rafi Marchand. Why do I keep using the wrong mouse? Good Lord. What's going on, Spurgeon King? This team is a clique. Doesn't matter if you're a good player. If you're in Philly's inner circle. Oh, I see what you're saying. Goose prayers for Suarez to save us. I hope so. Graham, rest in peace, Phillies. Pat Henry, I feel like the Phillies are my father that has not been around for 10 years, and every year he calls. And this is deep. Pat, who hurt you? He says he'll be there for my birthday, and he doesn't show up. It's a daily nightmare. That is a good God. Pat, are you okay? Perhaps you should call or reach out to BetterHelp, another sponsor of Locked On Sports. Julian C., you run it back. These are the results. Yeah, it certainly seems like it. Fraser, nothing to say but wow. Seriously, Larry, what's going on, Larry? Can't hit for power or average, pitch, field, or run the bases. We're 0 for 5. We're an 0 for 5 tool team. That's great. Oh, Ben, this is a great idea. Maybe don't send your entire infield to the All-Star game. That's a good point. Maybe if you want to set Bryson Stott would be on fire, and everybody else would just be ice cold. Hello? They're hitting 222 with runners in scoring position since June. All right. Oh, they've dropped off even more since then. Courtney Faribault. What's going on? Good thing I don't have any feelings left because Wolf. I have no more feelings. The Phillies have taken my feelings. JT looks washed, says Julian. Harper stinks. Turner stinks. Realmuto stinks. Nola stinks. Walker stinks. Casty stinks. Well, Casty's actually he's the best of those guys. Diehard Philly fan, all four sports, laugh out loud. Yep, that's what we are. Barzy, it's time to recognize it's hurt season. Oh, don't you start. Mike, only 6 more years of Nola. Thanks. Gee. Much appreciated. People waiting on Sanchez. Props to the Diamondbacks management team and players. Calvin, we get it. Barzy, don't let the suckies spoil the beautiful Mediterranean explanation of yours. You got that olive oil swagger? That's great. I'll think about that later. Spurgeon King, I'm going to think about that later and laugh again. Bohm was the first half MVP. Who's the second half anti-MVP? Bryce, Trey? Seems like all the above. All the above. Can Jimmy Rollins come out of retirement? Julian C. Girardi is Thomson. Thomson is Girardi. Scott Mack, snakes. I saw that a lot in the comments yesterday. Snakes. Let's go Snakes. You know, I should have known. I was mowing the lawn the other day, and a snake slithered across this little walkway we have. I should have known. That's the bad omen. Phillies are 0-3 since that snake slithered its way across my walkway. 4-6 on the West Coast trip. Faxi, what's going on? Hello. Oh. Elaine, my God, another collapse. Spurgeon King, I'm just going to say this, man. Spurgeon says, my name is Mark Farzetta, and I'm taking my blood pressure and drinking heavily. I'm just going to let you know, the minute I'm done posting the podcast version of this program, there'll be beverages consumed. Amir Pollock, what's going on? Phillies are just showing who they truly are. I feel the same way, by the way, Philly smooth boy. If Wheeler isn't pitching, forget about it. This isn't a good team. I'm sorry. They had a 29-6 run, and otherwise are a sub 500 team. Oh, Gilbert. I'm just going to say, Gilbert, I see your comment, and thank you. I appreciate that. That's all I'll say. Maybe this is how you know Farsi can't bench the bar as an OG. He knows that right there, that little piece of turf right there, he knows where it came from. That's right. And they said they loved me. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Coming up, we'll take a look at where this Phillies team is headed after this. Back in a moment, you're Locked On Sports Philadelphia. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, that's right. Help is on the way. It might not be the help that you want, but it's on the way. Back in a second. Oh, boy, Ibotta. You guys like Ibotta? You got to enjoy Ibotta. You know what I'm saying? Ibotta's amazing. Are you talking about thinking about taking your dream vacation this summer? Still some time left. Maybe you're dreading the cost of that dream vacation, but with Ibotta, you get cash back on all of your purchases. So you can spend more time making memories this summer and less time dreaming about them. Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Yeah, that's right. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys. So you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user, how much could they earn? How about $256 per year? $256 just shows up in your bank account? Not too bad. They could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip. They could cover the cost of a flight that you've been eyeing up, or even that fancy schmancy dinner you've been craving. Other apps give you points that don't really amount to much, but with Ibotta, you earn cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Simply add offers in the app. Unload your receipt, and voila, the money is yours. You can save on over 2,400 brands and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite grocery stores, as well as Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and so much more. It's time that you joined over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every day. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners and our viewers $5 just for trying Ibotta by using promo code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store, Google Play Store, and download the free Ibotta app to start earning cash back and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Ibotta, IBOTTA, in Google Play or the App Store, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. FanDuel, I love sports. You love sports. This time of year, the sports aren't sporting as much as they used to. You know what I mean? But, football's getting underway. Preseason already in full swing. Baseball obviously coming into the crunch months of the season. So take advantage of everything that FanDuel has to offer right now. And all I have to do is open up FanDuel, and they have something for me every single time. And FanDuel right now is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. For instance, you want to get involved in the action that has to do with the upcoming football season and Super Bowl favorites? Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs going off at a plus 600. The San Francisco 49ers going off at a plus 600. The Baltimore Ravens going off at plus 1,000. Detroit Lions plus 1,200. And your Philadelphia Eagles at plus 1,300. Come on. The Ravens lost to the Eagles, beat the Ravens in preseason. What are they looking at? No, I'm kidding. All right. But they did beat them. For the record. That's 3 straight preseason losses for the Ravens. Anyway, get on to FanDuel.com. Head on over to FanDuel.com and take advantage of their boost or bonus daily. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Visit FanDuel.com to look at odds for your next win. FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. The Phillies are off tomorrow. And to the rescue Looks like it'll be Taijuan Walker going to the rescue there. It's a 6:40 start time. Then Phillies' next 4 games. 6:40, both 6:40 start times against the Marlins Tuesday and Wednesday, and then 6:40 start times Thursday and Friday against the Washington Nationals. Then a 6:05 start time on Saturday, 1:35 start time against the Nationals on Sunday before they go on another road trip. This one a 6-game road trip, 3 in Atlanta and 3 in Kansas City against some pretty good baseball teams. Now the Braves have also been struggling. The Phillies, I will allow mentally 1 loss in their next 6 games. I am demanding that the Phillies go 5-1 at worst in their next 6 games. I need Bryce Harper to step the hell up and put a charge into this team. I need Nick Castellanos to keep hitting with that consistency and Alec Bohm to keep driving in runs. And I need guys in front of them to be getting on base. I need that power surge. Right now, you know what we need from the Phillies? We need a nice, big, fat, warm hug. That's what we need. Because it feels like we've been out like alone in a desolate environment and just been craving for some type of, encouragement, some type of optimism, some type of sense of optimism when it comes to this baseball team and what they could do. That's what we need. I don't know if that's coming from Zach Wheeler again. I don't know if that's going to come from Tyler Phillips again. Hell, Taijuan Walker, I'll take it, please. Phillies need that nice, they need to give us as a fan base that nice embrace because that's what we're missing so much right now. When you talk about a team hitting 205 with runners in scoring position over a 3-game stretch against a team that beat you to the World Series by 1 game when you had it in hand, and they just snatched it away time after time. Just like the Phillies sent a message to the Dodgers that they're a better team than the Dodgers and they could beat the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks reiterated a message from last year, which is, oh, we still got you. You guys think you're really good, but we're better. We're still better. You don't want to see us in the postseason again, do you? I need this Phillies team to get back to not even the dominant level of play that they were at before, but you're going up against a far inferior team in these next inferior teams in the next 2 series. Go take advantage of that opportunity presented to you. You're not facing the first place Mariners team. You're not facing a team like the Dodgers that are competing with you for the number 1 spot in the National League. And you're not facing a team in the Diamondbacks that are the hottest team in baseball and have had your number over the last 2 seasons. So yeah, go out against the Marlins and take care of business. Go out there against, oh my goodness gracious, this Washington Nationals team and handle your business. That's what I'm charging the Phillies with in this next 6-game run that they have. 5-1 at worst. Let's hope that happens. Hey, I will miss you guys tomorrow when there's no postcast. But in the meantime, make sure you're listening to the Locked On Phillies podcast with my friend Connor Thomas. Make sure you're checking him out on there in his daily podcast. And then I'll see you guys Tuesday night for Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies postcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies, Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and all that stuff. See you guys on Tuesday night after what will hopefully be a Phillies victory. See you guys then. Bye.